My name is Matt Slade. I'm a shop chairman at General Motors in Ypsilanti for service parts operations. What we're trying to do is reach out, grab the American public's attention, and try and get the American public to understand that right now is the time to get educated. Right now is the time to get involved and let our government know that it's no longer acceptable to let Wall Street run our government. We need to take it back to grassroots. We need to get to where the American public is running this government. A good case in point is our trade agreements. Our trade agreements not only with NAFTA, but in 2001 when China entered the WTO, the World Trade Organization, this country has gone downhill. If we continue on the path that we're on, we will no longer have jobs for our children. We'll have no longer jobs or a future for our country. So we just want people to get educated, get involved, start speaking to their government, start coming out here at the streets, and start letting people know how they feel and take action to make a difference in this country. This is history being made, and we have to do it.
Tell me what's going on with your plant in Ypsilanti and how it's affected the workers in terms of their integrity and their moral feeling about their morale overall.
The workers at my plant, they're fairly safe because it's service parts. However, we do have 15 people laid off, which isn't a great number comparatively. But what we've done is we've taken away the jobs bank. So everybody with the jobs bank being gone is very scared, because now they know the American public were borrowing money from China to finance their demise. So they know at any given time, if they can be laid off or basically it's fired, there's no recourse towards the company anymore. The American public, with the money that we borrow from China, is going to bail out the company and allow them to outsource the work and send it overseas. So they're all scared. The morale's very bad.
What would you say to the American consumer in terms of why it's important to buy an American car?
It's important to buy an American car just because you live in the United States of America. It supports you. It supports the average worker, the person from the waiter at the restaurant, the bartender at the bar, right down to the grassroots of the simplest job to the most intricate job, even the white-collar jobs. Without the manufacturing, there is not going to be any white-collar base in this country either. So we have to continue to buy American. We have to address this problem and take some pride back in our country.
And how many people work at the plant that you work at the facility?
100 people, 100 hourly people work at the facility I work at. Now, also at the facility I work at, I got to point out to you, in SPO, the service parts operations, is very big on this. We only have 7.5 hourly people for every management person in this plant. So this is warehousing. It's not real difficult work. But General Motors, these corporations are very big on protecting what I would call their army to get rid of us everyday workers. They keep them working while they lay us off.
What is in terms of, has there been any effort by either your local or u.a.w. to start looking into some of the alternative technology industries, whether they be solar or parts development for wind and other industries? Do any of the younger generation workers look forward to what's going to happen in the next few years, or are they more concerned about holding on to the jobs that they have?
The workers, I think right now, their basic thought process is about holding on to the jobs that they have. However, I do agree we need to go into new technologies. We need to look at every aspect in order to grow our country and grow our American public. But right now, we need to start by protecting the jobs we have. And then we also need to progress ourselves to the fact of new technologies. But we can't do it as long as the government and as long as Wall Street is making a conceited attempt to basically keep us, the American worker, uneducated, uninformed. It's our job to step out there, get informed, so we can get some of these new technologies and can learn about the opportunities that could possibly be there.
Let's address when they lose these jobs and these plants close here in Michigan, how it affects the tax base of the local communities and how it undermines the infrastructure in terms of providing the means to support police and firefighters, the schools, to just the way our communities function.
Well, obviously our communities are devastated. Our our kids aren't getting educated properly. Here in Detroit, we're consolidating schools. I come from Flint, Michigan originally, where right now it's a 15.8% unemployment rate, and the schools are closing down. The roads are getting terrible. There's no money for special projects as far as keeping our infrastructure working. If we don't start repairing these bridges, then we won't have an ability to ship the proper way that we need to ship. It's bad for the trucks. It's bad for every American person.
I think there are things that we could do here in Michigan, whether it's toll roads or other ways, to make sure that we're, Michigan's a transit point for a lot of goods that come in from Canada. Have people ever expressed a concern that, we're paying a price for the international commerce that's going on?
I think we are, but I got to tell you, I don't think toll roads are the answer. Because take a state like Tennessee. There's no state income tax, but you drive their roads for some reason, and they're the best roads in the country. I have never been on a Tennessee road that was not great. So maybe it's something to do with our tax base. Maybe it's something that we give these corporations an out at every turn, and they constantly slam the door in our face and leave us, and we have no way to recoup that money. But also I'd like to point out where our tax dollars are going as far as TAA and TRA, which is Trade Adjustment Assistance. How is it that we have to spend $585 million per year just for education for outsourced jobs? Now, that's in direct relationship to a job that is outsourced. That's not touching the jobs that are lost that don't fall into the TAA realm, where those people are left out in the cold. And that's just for education. That doesn't even touch the base of the extra money for TAA that an employee may get. That's our tax dollars going directly towards outsourcing.
So there's been a diversion of resources instead of investing in the American workforce.
Exactly.
It's actually paying them to not be productive.
Exactly. It's paying them to, what I hear a lot from the government and all the research that I've done, it's paying them to enter a sector of what they would call the service sector, where you are actually taking a third decrease in your wages. It's actually going to lower the standard of living. You actually have to get educated to do this, but your standard of living is going to be lowered. So yes, there's a big adjustment in where the money goes.
So could you make the case about why we need to protect communities like Ypsilanti and Flint in terms of, we're really crying out for our survival as a community, not just to be walked away from after all the hard work we've done, but that we want a future for ourselves.
It's about our communities here. I agree with that. We definitely need to protect our communities here. But what about the United States of America as a whole? We need to protect all Americans. This isn't just a u.a.w. problem. This isn't just a small community problem. Look over in California. California, if you look at the standards for unemployment, are one of the most devastated states in this whole thing. And now, after Tennessee went after us about our automobile industries getting money, they're courting our automobile industries to build a car there. How is that right? So yeah, we need to definitely protect our communities.
Anything else you want to say?
No, sir.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I hope that fits what you need.
Oh, no.